Hi Virgo. This is your Gemini season June 2024 reading. Yes, I have my kitty here, so if I need to move, see the little paw. He's not super touchy-feely all the time. Hey, sweetie. Again, if you're gonna be up here, you gotta be nice. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as and there he goes. So I don't want to be nice. I don't want to be nice. Yeah, all information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended version of this reading, which will be in the first link below, but give it a couple of days. That will be on Patreon. 1, 2, 3. This month for you is about a lot of movement. And you may feel like, okay, well, I've been moving a lot. Yeah. But this is different. This kind of movement, this kind of change, this kind of passion, this discernment, this clarity that you may receive, even though like everything's going into Gemini, but that's more beneficial for you than not, because that is a fellow Mercurial ruled sign. So what's important before you begin to move on anything in particular is to clear up any doubts you may have about, sorry, I forgot to do that. And then a Virgo just texted me, so interesting. We love it. There's a lot more freedom in this month for you, and you may forget what it tastes like, and then all of a sudden it's like a drug, and you're like, oh my God, what else can I do? What else can I feel? What else can I experience? For some of you, in a particular area of life. This really could be in many different areas, so it really depends on where in your life you're feeling that. For some of you, I feel like it's creative, it could be sexually, it could be a couple of both. And here's the thing. It's being brought to your attention that this kind of freedom and space, and all of a sudden you're still being drawn back to these specific problems, or not so much problems, the specific way of being, and you're craving new, you're craving change. And you know, that could be avoidance for some, but I don't think that's what it is. I think you're ready to face like what's really important to you right now, what is going to create change within the next year, of course, especially with wherever Gemini is in your chart. But there's expansion there, but it's, you know, that means a lot of things, especially with Gemini there. So yeah. This is matters of you're not just feeling that reckless inspiration, which is a good time. It could be a very good time. So for some of you, that could mean something different. So be very careful about decisions. You don't want to start a new problem, or the same kind of problem in a new way right now, because it will take you through a lot of different directions that you were not planning on going. So that discernment really needs to come in, because if you're craving and wanting a new experience in life, it's going to take your energy. It's going to take a shift in focus in your mind, and using this fueled experience to clear up some emotional strains on the mind, because the mind will probably lead you like, oh, this is actually something emotional that you may need to address. And it could be with your psyche, how that's created. And then all of a sudden the devil falls out, and then we have the bottom of the deck. I'm going to use that. Ooh, I didn't see the Lovers. This has everything to do with everything. I didn't get to the love part for a reason. You have like a really huge healing opportunity. And for those of you who want to learn more about herbs, flowers, and using, and herbs, all the different spices even, that's something, if you're being drawn towards, learn until you feel like you don't need to learn anymore. You don't have to overly commit when you want to learn something new. You don't have to master it. It's just learning and feeling into it. And if you feel into the beginning enough, you can sense the direction. But then you also can re-experience things like you may find that once a year or every season you like to be with a certain herb, and all of a sudden that starts to change, and it can be like a lifelong process. It doesn't mean you have to go like teach everyone about it. And I know Virgo suns understand that a little bit more than Virgo rising, so it's for both of you. So you're looking towards, these patterns may stem from either the masculine or fatherly figure in your life, but it's also, again, where you're ruled maybe by Saturn, but also it's your day-to-day. It's like, what are the day-to-day strains that you have? Is there a way to alleviate them? Is there a way to help them? Is there a way to put something into it? It doesn't look like you have to put any money into it. It just looks like you have to allow yourself to be open to a change, to a shift, regardless if you are judgments coming in anyway. It's like the Tower moment, but different. Just spoken differently. And this could be from a higher source, a higher sense of yourself. So when you're with certain people, you can become higher versions of yourself. No pun intended. You can, and what I mean by that is that the energy together, when open to it and giving yourselves the chance to be vulnerable, can take you to another level. And not only your friendship, but in deepening the understanding of what you both know about relationship, about life, about the universe, about the intangibles. And you may feel really connected to that as you're releasing these patterns. You may feel that high because you've been working so hard at doing something that may have never really worked for you, but it taught you a lot about your work ethic, but it's not teaching you maybe how you're supposed to work. And now you're looking at your body, you're looking at your day-to-day, you're looking how you feel every day. Maybe you're thinking about what your thoughts are every day, who you're interacting with, what you're interacting with, what kinds of information, right? So that's all of this Gemini, energy is happening, and it's opening up your experience to this change, to this shift, to a more deeper understanding of even manifestation. When you're in a relationship with a person or with a subject or an herb or something, even if it's not good for you, there's a relationship to explore there. And you may be feeling more in the experimental phase, or you're being open to it, almost pushed to it for some of you, because you're maybe really resistant. For those of you really resistant to this, because it's a floodgate, right? But again, it's a floodgate in a way that it's because it's going to feel like a drug, and it's up to you to tame this and to understand that rest is really important. For some of you, you may understand more now than ever that rest is very important, but again, that's where, depending on your, look at all these aces. This is like a crazy month of aces, like, I'm not kidding. This is a huge fresh start also with your money, if that is helpful. You're clearing out a lot in order for whatever's really, I said I was going to take the bottom, but I didn't. Interesting, because it was the Ace of Wands. We have the doubles 2 here, and then eventually it's everything. You really need to listen to, especially if it's like your lungs or your bones. If there's a way you can feed into that and strengthen those areas of your life. For some of you, it's also about the communication between you and a certain person. Could be a Capricorn, could be a certain figure in your life that just needs to be had in order to it could be even what's kind of tampering with the energy of your worth, because it's maybe that's where you're seeing that you have had a lack of control over this area from, could have been that, very prominent person in the household too. So it doesn't just have to be masculine. It could have been, or it can be masculine, but it's that overarching, power dynamic, which are coming up for sure. And it's making it very clear to you that there's a version of you that steps into their power. And maybe it's something you start to visualize, maybe dealing with these people, whether it's a love situation or someone you really care about extremely deeply. Your relationship, sometimes things have to happen in order for the relationship to take the next level. There needs to be friction in order for it to evolve into something even better. Sometimes it goes the latter, but this looks like it's evolving into something even better, and even an idea can come out of it. Does that mean you should work together? Maybe it's something should definitely be thought out before you jump right in. But if you can work through whatever you're working through right now, because it seems to be a big emphasis and kind of caring, you may be carrying it, and they may be as well. So there's that too. I know they don't watch this, so I have a brother that's a Virgo and a brother that's a Capricorn, and it's reminding me of them a little. Not that they're going through it, but I think there's an opening that needs to happen, and deepening that intimacy with the people in your life deepens it with the trust with the universe as well, and what can be provided for you. Because I feel like what you don't necessarily deem as important sometimes is what's blocking that energetical flow into your life, whether it's money or experiences or just the feeling of abundance. That feeling can be blocked by your perhaps stubborn nature to think that work is always the answer. It's not, Virgo. I mean, this is the version of you that knows and understands, is not the hermit going to seek. It's letting information come to you. Yeah, can it be stagnant? Of course, but I wouldn't. Sometimes, just like Gemini, know you two are very good at the most obvious to expose this is that you could be doing so much but doing nothing at all, right? You could be doing so much but it's harming you, right? So where you need to take a step back. And this is a point in your life where you do need to allow yourself to fully receive this idea, this person, what needs to be said to, in order to enable that switch. Because it's a powerful switch. Lots of major arcana is also in the middle and towards the end of the month. So I would highly recommend finding this place and space of awareness where you may have a lot going on, but you're not allowing judgment to cloud any decision making, your emotions to cloud any decision making as well. It's really important to feel and use your emotions as tools for your decision making. Is that always going to happen? No, probably not. But you can give yourself time to experience what that can be like, to digest what has just happened, what you're learning about yourself, because it's going to feel like, wow, my life is changing right before my eyes for some of you in a very amazing way, where you feel lifted from some burdens even, right? It could be that deep where it goes so much into the pressure to perform. Take that however you want. Take that however that suits you. And yes, I mean, and it goes deep. So that pressure that you could be feeling, even to digest what has happened, it's not time to rush that. Mars is moving into Taurus. It will happen in exactly the time it needs to happen. This has been happening, and it's interesting because it doesn't happen all the time. But ever since I moved spots, it has. But it's because and it doesn't matter. It doesn't pertain to the reading, I don't think. So, it's just interesting. And I could see it, but whatever. I just let it happen. I don't like to interrupt the flow unless it's interrupted almost naturally sometimes. it's become like glaringly obvious that in order for security to wash over you completely, to receive and learn and continue to go through that process, the feeling of joy, right? Knowing that everything's being taken care of. Sometimes, and this is one of the best advice that I was ever given by a fellow reader, just very smart person, very tapped in, faithful person, is that at some point, this is also about you spiritually recognizing that you need to allow your burdens and your worries to have and be let go of and have help spiritually. You can ask for that help. They're all around us all the time. They're waiting. They can't even do anything unless you really ask for divine intervention. How many times does that have to happen before, you know? So consider this, me putting this on as could be that divine intervention that you need to allow yourself to restore, right? To receive, to experience, this moment, this space. Find yourself consciously releasing any issues or worries. Notice what it feels like to even try or allow yourself to do that. Going back to non-judgment for this moment in your life, because what you'll realize is that's the experience it may be mirroring this experience, that struggle or non-struggle, your ability to trust or not trust, to have faith or not have faith. But you have to realize that it's very almost overly self-centered to think that you're controlling everything, that life isn't helping you, that you have no guidance spiritually. It's silly. You do. You have a lot more help than maybe you utilize. So it's time to practice that if you want, right? It's time to get on board with the idea that that's maybe that feeling, and you allowing yourself to even experience that feeling, or getting curious about what stops you, what's in between that, right? Because from what we know, peace and bliss and these experiences are how we're meant to feel as humans, and continue that and feel and notice how long that he's back how long that can last for. Right, you may notice that feeling taken care of in that way and developing that relationship over time or very quickly can create progress in your life. You might see signs very quickly. Oh my God, you're gonna fall, sweetie. And being open to these kinds of people coming into your life as well. Connecting to what's right in front of you, right? What allows you to feel powerful, in control enough so you can let go, right? That's the equation. Because you have this, you may have this this feeling that you allow yourself to experience about this idea could become so full body that all of a sudden you envision and you're like, wow, it's that easy. You envision the entire thing, and all of a sudden everything's lit up, and where you're stubborn and where you won't let go, all these things are being shown to you, but you're being given the space, the tools, the timing, the opportunities to make these adjustments and a dance in a way that could be very helpful for who it is that you're becoming right now and who you need to be right now. Who you need for you to be, right? Not anybody else, except for the people that are really important to you. But even aside from them, thinking about what you really need, and then eventually seeing that come together, knowing that it's possible, knowing that if it feels years away, maybe it is, but it's not that long, right? That whatever you decide in right now is very effective for the years to come. And taking a look at it all. All the Taurus placements gave you, especially, Gemini risings, you have Taurus in the 12th house. And it has given you more of an idea, maybe has shown you and giving you a different view on how things can be approached, handled. This is about seeing yourself as this Empress, but also giving yourself this space to be the sun. Some of you also may be having children, and if you are, and it's a good thing, congratulations. And if you're not, be careful, take notice for sure. If you're going through something with a child, the best medicine could be a good experience of play, but also remaining, certain that everything is safe. There's a view of safety in this reading as well. Safety for you to explore these spaces. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. To explore these spaces, to be and give yourself the time, because also for some of you this is about hearing some things that you kind of knew, but it validated your intuition, it validated something, and it's about what's held back, what's been held back, some information that hasn't been revealed yet about maybe a specific person's partner, your partner. This could you be hearing information about your own, and having to address that situation with this new view right away. So for some of you, right away, you're gonna have to make a decision that changes your life. Ooh, good. That changes your life in a way that is almost like how you would change your life now, and how you wanna. The decision you want to make shows you the person that you're moving into, the person that you're shifting into. Yeah, I'm excited to get into the second part. Hi, baby. He just wants all the loves. I'm really excited to get into the second part, because this experience is it's just, for some of you, it's whatever you're finding out is the spiritual experience. It's revealing something huge to you, like a huge shift in your perspective. It makes you see things differently, feel things differently, and it opens your eyes and opens your whole body to being so receptive, and you'll be on a streak with it for a while. So the way that you're feeling is no mistake. Don't second guess it. Don't let your mind run away with it. Go with this feeling. Go with whatever is coming up. Roll with any ideas. It'll bring you to the next one. If you find yourself being stubborn again, just ask yourself some questions. Write some shit down. Talk to yourself like you never have before, and then also give yourself that space, because these cards are also you need time to yourself. You need time to connect with people for sure. But you have to notice what space you're in, and if it's something that you can shift out of and you do have control over, and it doesn't need to be handled in that moment, you're gonna notice what keeps you stuck in places, and where you give your power away even to your own thoughts. Sometimes you gotta cut them off. Sometimes you just gotta be with yourself and experience life in this way for a while, Virgo. You may meet some people too that help you experience these things. So you may find that as you're maybe having these hard conversations or learning these hard things, and being open to all of this change in communication, that the communication with the world around you shifts, and it brings people in that sheds the light that you need. You may not even have to go anywhere, but you are moving in a direction, and life is now adjusting to your heart. So getting to know your heart even more and hearing really what comes from the inside, really what makes you beat, not just what makes you tick. You know what I'm saying? The attachment to that, my dear friend, my lovely Virgo, will be he's wild. It'll be very important to know about yourself. Okay, all information is below. As always, be well, treat yourself well. We'll see you in the next part, hopefully, and in the next one. Thank you for being here, and enjoy your Gemini season.